Hello guys, and welcome to the Film Box. It's been a while since we made a video, but I feel like I always say that every time I start a video here because it takes me a while to make them, but whenever I do, I want to make them special. So we moved into a new house, so I have a whole new little studio space now, and it's slowly coming together. Just have some wall art here from this great artist on Instagram that I'll link her Instagram below in case you want some movie posters as well. And then that's about it. I have some stuff I want to hang up on the walls, but they're still not ready. I have a problem with committing where I want to hang some of these frames, so they've just been sitting on the floor for quite a while now, but hopefully I get to that. But anyways, today I want to go over one of the coolest cameras I've had the chance to use, and I finally got the chance to get a GFX 50s too. So medium format digital is something I've always wanted to try out, and I had to sacrifice my Leica M6 to get this, but I wasn't using the Leica much since I'm not shooting much film anymore now these days, so I figured let it go to somebody that can put it to good use, and at the same time I can get something like this and put it to good use. So on this review today, I guess you would say, pretty much just want to kind of go over the camera, not so much the specs. There's other great videos for that, but really I just want to kind of give you my opinion and show you what the camera can do. And if you're somebody that just wants to get into medium format and don't care about every little number or spec about it, this is the video for you. So I'm just gonna kind of go through the main points about this camera, I guess you would say, and try to make this video efficient in time. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the Fujifilm 50s, and then we're gonna go to the Mitakon 65mm 1.4. Because these two make an amazing combo, and I'm going to show you guys the photos that you can take with this. So let's start with the camera, the build quality. This is like if you're holding like an X-T5 to me, like it's kind of like the big brother of the X-T5, to be honest. It's very simple. I really like the ergonomics. I've never had a camera this big, so it feels really good on the hands. And the controls and the dials to this is really simple. There's really only one dial. So the first dial you have here is just the custom settings, so you can put in your recipes, and you have like 1 through 6, as well as the manual, autofocus, shutter speed, programming mode, and all that. But I really just use it on my custom settings and just go back and forth between the recipes I have. Now keep in mind, I don't really post any of the photos straight out of camera with the recipe on. I really shoot everything in RAW. I just like using the recipe just to kind of give me an idea of how it's gonna look like, or just just kind of get an idea, like a preview mode. So anyways, it does have this really cool screen on the front. I've never had a camera that has that, so it gives you like your shutter speed, your f-stop, your ISO, and what custom setting you're on and things like that. So pretty valuable information. I do like that a lot because I use my histogram a lot whenever I'm shooting. So you can actually program it to have the histogram show on the little screen, and that lets me know if I'm clipping like my highlights or my shadows and things like that. So really the setup of this camera is very driven towards photo. It does shoot video, but let's not even talk about that. It's not the best video. It's like 1080p. Like, who shoots that anymore? But honestly, I don't care. I really wasn't planning to shoot any video with this camera anyways. I have my Sony FX3 for that. But yeah, like I said, ergonomics, dials, and everything's pretty much there. And if you're coming from Fujifilm cameras, you're gonna find the menu pretty much similar. It's like the menu you see like on the XT series, but in a bigger screen. But anyways, really like the camera, really like the ergonomics, the weight. It's kind of a little bit on the heavy side, but I mean, that's to be expected from a bigger camera like this. It does have a bigger sensor, which is 51 megapixels, so that's more than enough, to be honest. For me, I shoot a lot of street work as well as a lot of portraits. That's my main thing that I shoot with this, so I don't need that much megapixels and that much resolution so to work with it. Now this sensor does have really beautiful colors, like no other. There's not really any other camera I've used that has these kind of files, and it's one of those things that you won't understand till you actually play with one of the Fujifilm medium format files. The colors are really nice. They render so well. Like the gradients between, you know, highlights and shadows and different colors, they just blend in so well. You don't see like, it's hard to explain, but like you don't see like where there's like missing color depth. Like it's there. So if you ever get a chance to edit one of these files, I think you're gonna see what I mean. It has a 4:3 ratio aspect ratio. So whenever you're shooting, normally the other ones have like, was it like 5 by something? I forgot, like 5:3 or 5:4 or something like that. Your native ratio for this is 4:3. So it has a really unique look that it kind of reminds me like when I shoot with my RZ67, RZ67, sorry. Someone corrected me about that one. So, you know, it has like a 6:7 negative. So this one's like a 4:3. So it's really nice. I personally love it more than any other of the aspect ratios I've used. Now you can shoot like panoramic mode, which is this 65:24. So 65:24 is also really fun to use, especially if you have a lens wide enough. Which, let's talk about the lens now that we're mentioning that. So this is a 65mm 1.4. So this is from Mitakon, and honestly, this is like the coolest lens that you can use for this camera. If you've probably seen it before, but if you haven't, you can take this really nice full body shots with this camera, and it's going to give you amazing depth of field on the foreground and the background, and it gives you this really nice separation between your subjects and the scenery. I have never had a camera that does this, and it doesn't matter if you're trying to use an 85mm 1.4 or you know, like anything like that that's like zoomed in that gives you that really nice bokeh. You still don't get that kind of look. You don't get that medium format look. So this is the lens that I've been using for that kind of work, and I recently got another lens because another like pro about this camera is the fact that you can adapt any lens you want. Like you can adapt like people adapt Canon lenses and still get autofocus with the right adapter, and also vintage lenses to give you like a vintage look to your photos with like nice highlights and bloom to that. So I've had the chance to use the Contax 45mm 2.8. Now I recently bought it. I don't have many images to show you with it, but just to kind of give you an idea how it can cover the sensor. So even though that lens is a 35mm camera lens, it was meant for like to shoot 35mm film. It wasn't a medium format lens, but it still covers the sensor pretty well. Now I won't talk much about that lens just because I just barely got it, and I want to do a full review of just that lens alone because it has a lot of cool character to it in my opinion. So one thing that I do want to point out with this system too is the fact that it slows you down. You know, this lens is pretty heavy, the camera's pretty heavy, so another tip is just get you a nice neck strap. I do have one neck strap from K&F that's, you know, wide enough that allows me to, you know, be able to use this comfortably. So I'll link it below as well if you want to buy that. But the reason I mentioned the weight of this is the weight and the autofocus will slow you down. It's not like a camera you just want to like shoot 500 600 photos. One, because it takes up a lot of memory. Second of all, it's pretty heavy to be carrying around, and just you want to shoot very intentionally. That's what I'm trying to get to, and that has helped me a lot of my photography with this. I really take the time to pose the model and making sure everything's good before I take the photo, because whenever you're manual focusing and then you have a heavy lens and then you have a lot of memory per photo, you do want to lower it down. But hey, it works out. You know, I used to shoot like 600 photos per session with my Sony a7R5, and ever since I got this, I shoot about 200 photos and I get plenty of good ones there. So yeah, hopefully I have given you a good like overview of the camera, and I put some good photo samples for you guys to look at on portraits. That's what I've mainly been using it on, so I don't have a lot of street work with it, but I'm hoping to get more and then share it with you guys because I like to revisit this. I've only had this camera for 6 months, so I've tried to use it as best as I can. But life gets busy and I don't do this full time, so I only do it whenever I have free time. Let me know if there's any other questions you may have about it, the system, and you leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And hopefully I'll do a long-term review about it once I hit 1 year with it. So in about 6 months I'll do another one and I'll have more work to show you. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next time.